Okay, welcome to the live chat. Now you can hear me. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm glad I noticed that before I started talking to myself again. But they say the important thing is not so bad that you talk to yourself, it's when you answer yourself that makes a difference. So, this has been a busy day for me. Um, no details necessary, but oh, let me tell you, I just got in here under the radar. Hello, Sister and Cece, Opal Jones, Sherry Ware, one of our moderators, and Diane Hawkins. Welcome to the live chat. Diane Ware, Lydia Washington, another mod squad. Diane Hawkins. Oh, yeah, I said that already. Nubian Queen, B10 Pow. B10 Pow, welcome to the live chat. Faith, Hope, Love, hello. Joyce Boat. Okay, Joyce has just made this easy for me. Hi, Nellie. Hi, Annie. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Fancy. Rosa, Carolyn, Bernadine, Latoya, Ethan, husband. Let's see, Carol, Linda. No last names, Joyce. This is not as helpful as I thought. Rhonda, excuse me, Maggie, Gwendolyn, Lori, Denise, Anastasia. Okay, no last names, but I can rock this. So I think that took. Oh, Jillian, uh, Monestime. Okay. Um, yeah. Hey, everybody. Church Nelly, there you are. And Maxine B2, Anel the Beak. I think I got that right. Uh, Sheila Watson, Judy Regold, welcome. Okay. Joan Commonwealther, hello, welcome to the live chat. And on and on and on. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me. Okay. Oh, I see Annie Bullard and Carolyn Sowers, Yolanda P. Okay. I think I got everybody. Wow, 242 in the live chat already. I know why I'm home on a Friday night, but what are you guys doing home on a Friday night? Okay, Patricia Nixon, welcome. Okay, Lorna Andrews, welcome. Welcome, and more welcome. Okay, so let's get down to it. Um, a lot going on with Andrew, but shall I warn everyone to use a little caution while we're having our moments of glee, because you know that somehow, some way, they're going to try to use this, I guess, disciplinary action by the Queen, the discipline that they're trying to use on Andrew, which, of course, she has. Let me see. I want to make sure I word this properly. I wish I would have actually have saved the statement from the from the Queen, I guess. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is this: we don't want this to somehow be turned around and used against the Sussexes. You know what I mean? Because yes, the Sussexes have taken a step back from their roles as senior royals, right? But we don't want the Sussexes to have to give up anything more than what they have given up to that family until they, I want to caution you and say this, until they are ready to step back even further. This is Prince Harry's birthright. Prince Harry deserves everything that comes out of that family that he can get. He worked extremely hard for it, As a matter of fact, he was working extremely hard when other people in the family were deliberately doing very little. That includes Duchess Jazz Hands and the Egghead. They were doing very little for a long time, while Prince Harry, some people say that Prince Harry was actually yanked out of the battlefield so he could come back to the plantation and do more work. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I'm just saying everything in moderation. When the Sussexes are ready to say, okay, do not refer to us as HRH, or do not refer to us as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Until they say otherwise, then I say we should use a little caution while we're doing this celebratory dance with Randy Andy, because that kind of thing, I'm just a little cautious about it, and I think it can backfire. So if you understand what I'm saying, I don't want to say too much because I don't want my words used against the Sussexes, but I'm just saying, um, I don't want this to, I don't want Andrew's punishment to become the Sussexes' problems too. So that's what I'm trying to say. I can't say it any more direct than that, but I think you might get what I'm feeling. Oh, well, thank you, Lydia. I hope so. I'm trying not to say what I'm trying to say. As the Sussexes are building their lives in California, I'm trying not to say what I'm trying to say because I'm trying not to say what I want to say for their benefits. So, until they say that we prefer to be known as the senior royals, formerly known as so and so, then in the meantime, the letterhead is from the office or from the desk of the Duchess of Sussex or the Duke of Sussex. So, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. And if that wasn't clear to you, don't worry, I don't get it either. Yeah, I do, but I can't say. Okay, with the Queen's approval and agreement, the Duke of York military affiliations and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen. Okay, so he voluntarily returned those things to the Queen. But the Duke of York will continue to be known as His Royal Highness, but he just cannot use it outside of that family. So he's still an HRH. The Duke of York will continue not to undertake any public duties and is defending his case as a private citizen. But of course, we all know he's not a private citizen. He's defending his case as a private citizen. Why? Because the case is in the United States of America. It's not in the Queen's court. So that's why he's defending himself as a private citizen. If he was an American, it would have been as an American citizen. But that's not the case. He's just defending himself as a private citizen. There's so many holes in this statement. You could drive a lorry through it. There are so many holes. Joseph Burnell, you say? Don't worry, Baron. They will find a way somehow, some way to drag the Sussexes into Swamp Randy Andy, such as their desperation and hate. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And that is the long term ploy that they're going to use. I've actually seen something to that effect in the headlines. So, yeah. But until then, let's just pray and hope, and if at all possible, help the Sussexes get themselves settled into their new life in sunny California, in Santa Barbara, Montecito, et cetera, until such time. That's how I'm thinking about it. So, everybody has their own ideas about what the course of action should be. for the Sussexes. Mine is just let them get their family secure and their finances secure, because they're going to need that security. They're going to need that security. One of the officials that's been working on the pandemic, I don't want to say his name because that would cause a problem with my account, but that official, the little short guy that's been there ever since the start, he told one of the people in the Senate that by dragging my name through the mud, you're causing security problems for myself and for my family. And it's the same with the Sussexes. By dragging their names through the tabloids, it's enough derangers out there that there is security problems. Okay, so on a more serious note, you guys that are not on the Twitter may not be aware of this. I thought about downloading the page from Twitter to share with you, but I thought, no, maybe I shouldn't. But as you know, Chris Bowsey, the Sentinel bot, a bot Sentinel rather, you know that he has been, I guess the derangers have taken notice of him because of the fact that he has pointed out a lot of, I guess, hate accounts, if you will. He has pointed out so many of these hate accounts. So today on the Twitter, and maybe you've seen it, those of you that are on the Twitter, but apparently there was a car, if I understand this tweet, um, there was a car parked outside of his house where some deranger was pretending to be a delivery man and trying to nose around Chris Bowsey's Bowsey. Okay, I see that. Bowsey. Thank you. Um nose around his house for whatever reason. That's the kind of notice that he's taken. Deranger showed up at Chris' home as a delivery person. Yes, absolutely. So again, I'm not going to take the page off the Twitter for some reason. I don't want to do that right now. But um, that happened, and he reluctantly shared that because he thought it was necessary to share it. The same way the Sussexes feel as though it's necessary to call out certain things with that family, lest there should be history repeating. So these are some very serious things. And it's not necessarily that the threats may be coming directly from, say, a tabloid or from some, in that doctor's case that I mentioned, testifying in front of Congress. It may not be coming directly from a particular politician who's using the doctor's name to fundraise. But the thing is, it ignites certain passions in people who mentally are very fragile. And that's when it becomes dangerous. So, that being said, I can understand why he decided to post this on the Twitter. It says, I wasn't going to tweet this, but it is relevant to ongoing events. And now I wanted in the public domain on Wednesday someone associated with another lunatic linked to this group sent someone to our house. The man pretended to be a delivery person and was snooping around. Okay. So the photo, there's really not much to see except the police at some point were involved. And that's pretty scary when you think about it. Um, So yeah, that's what happens. That's why people have to be very responsible with the type of language that they use, because you can get someone hurt. You can get someone's family hurt. People, sometimes language can be so incendiary that it causes people to suddenly become the focus of some type of hate campaign. Right, Richard? I genuinely worry that Prince Harry and Meghan's criticism of unnamed person in the royals has increased the danger of attacks on the royal family. Security needs to be stepped up as a result. Well, we all get the between the lines that he's trying to throw out there. I totally get it. And I'm sure you all get it too. So that's why people have to be very, very careful. Um, because I just want to say that with the derangers, with the people that uh I guess shall we say side with the Kensington or whether it's Bojo the clown or an assortment of people. I guess it's like a whole collection of people. You almost can't have one without the other. But people who identify with that, as you can see, none of this type of behavior comes from this side of the situation. Is mostly, if not exclusively, from the other side. From the other side. And that's just absolutely disturbing. Um, I mean, when you consider the buffoonery that some of those other people are capable of, um, it you wouldn't have to send anyone to look for any information because it's all over the place, like playing three notes over and over again. You don't have to be um 007 to sort that out, or so many other things, because I'm going to tell you all of the things that we could ever say about anyone at KP or Clarence House or Buckingham Palace. We don't have to start it because the tabloids do it. The tabloids are the one who start the rumors. Like, for instance, the whole thing with the Rose Garden, that came from people like Dan Wooten Tootin. That came from Richard Eden. We didn't have to do anything. They did it for us. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not like we start anything. We just keep the receipts. We keep the receipts. But the people that are so, I guess, staunchly against the Sussexes, they make up stuff. We only keep receipts. That's the way I see it. So let me go to your comments and see what you have to say about it. 19 minutes into this live chat. I would like to see what you guys think about it. But that's the way I see it. We keep receipts. We don't have to make up things. The other side makes up stuff, and the other side makes up things using the tabloid press, using connections to the various royal households, and using the social media. Is there anything about that that you think I got wrong? Because that's the way I see it. I can't think of anything that we've actually have conjured up out of nowhere. Like, for instance, having a surrogate parent or being older than 40 years old. I mean, those are things that are just pulled right out of midair. I don't know that we've ever made up anything. I mean, the fact that somebody played three notes over and over again, that's a fact. The fact that somebody repeatedly uses their hands instead of the English language to express themselves or roll their eyes too much, that's a fact. I don't know that we've made any of that up. I can't think of anything that was just made up. And if you can think of something, please correct me because I can't think of anything. Okay, so let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, thank you, Faith, Hope, Love. I'm just trying to be fair. I'm really trying to be fair. If there's anything, okay, I can think of one. I can think of something totally fictitious that was done just for fun. And you guys probably know what it is. This one. Okay, this is totally fictitious. I don't suppose that she has knuckle dusters in her pocket. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but yeah, okay, that one is kind of made up. Or, other parts of her. That was totally for fun. I don't suppose that anybody would. I mean, you're not going to see this photo in the shall we say, the Sun or the Daily Fail. But if you do see it there, I will totally take credit for it. But aside from this, I'm trying to think, is there anything that we have superimposed on someone else's well-being on that side of things that they could say, oh, you guys are, it doesn't happen. That's why they never say anything, because it doesn't happen. None of that happens. Nobody is making up stuff about them. And anything that we find out, it usually is it too soon to do it? I think not. If there's anything that comes out, the calls are coming from inside the house. The calls are coming from inside the house. Both Dan and several other people have spoken about the Rose Garden. We didn't start that. We just, shook our heads. We didn't say anything about that. Richard Eden did. And of course, Dan Wooten has said something about it in the past, but it didn't come from us. So that's how I see it. I'm just calling it as I see it. They are in crisis. They need Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan. The Sussexes eventually don't need them. I'm sorry, evidently don't need them. The Sussexes are well out of the tragedy the royal family is bent over becoming. Yeah, Irene G, absolutely. They got out. They got out just in time. I'm sure Harry must have seen this coming. Harry obviously has seen this coming and was, I guess, forthright and intelligent enough to pull away before the House of Windsor began to crumble down. She was giving a secret message to them about what is going on in the family. Really? Oh, that sounds juicy, Beverly. That sounds juicy. Which perfectly sums up. I want to say I've seen it, but I'm going to have to go back and watch it again because I was multitasking. So I'm going to have to go back and watch that again. And thank you. I will try to remember to do that. But yeah, I was multitasking and I did hear that. And he had like, what was the ending of that monologue? It was something to do with the Queen. Gosh, and I forgot already. They are not reporting much about Andrew in the UK, are hiding the story by going on and on about the Downing number 10 Downing Street party. Okay, I saw some stuff about that today. That was that has taken a life of its own. I'm just amazed by the ferocity. Although, it is unfair to people that were not given a chance to mourn properly or be with sick loved ones or, weddings that had to be postponed and so many other life events that had to be postponed while they were having a party at number 10. One of the people actually DJing with their laptop. Sorry, I'm so dehydrated. 1 second. Gosh, that was good. Thank you. Let's see. Really well to know how they operate. He knows how malicious they are and what their next steps are before they do it. Miranda, I think you're onto something. Absolutely. Oh, sorry. I think you're on to something. So let me share this with you all. Just a couple of little images I gathered for the purposes of tonight's video. Sorry to keep y'all up so late, but just a couple of images that somehow speaks to me. I'll let you decide what they're actually saying. Okay, these. Yes. Okay. These are the ones. Okay. So now apparently Sarah is still a duchess. Okay. Sarah is still a duchess. And that's very important to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this whole thing about strip them of their titles, whereas we know that's not very easy to do. But if for some reason the Yorks lose their titles as the Duke and Duchess of York, which I don't suspect is going to happen because that would be humiliating for the daughters. But if for some reason they lose their titles, then again, that would have some kind of effect upon the Sussexes that I would rather avoid because it would set a precedence that I think would get out of hand very fast. And so once those titles are conferred, it is deliberately difficult to take those titles away. And I say thank goodness for that because apparently those titles are still part of the Sussexes' um, lives, and it's also I think legally isn't that partially their names? I mean, wouldn't or is it just we refer to them as the Sussexes in a very generic sense to differentiate them from the rest of the royal family? But whatever the case is, whether we use Sussex generically or officially, or if that is legally parts of their name, I think that they should remain intact until such time as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex deems it necessary to give it away or walk away from it or insist, please don't call us that, just call us H&M, whatever. Until they decide something should change, then I say it's HRH. This is what you call passive aggressive. HRH, his and her Royal Highness, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Princess Henry of Wales. That's what you call passive aggressive. Um, so if there's any derangers out there hate listening, I'm gonna say it one more time. H R H. You have to say Ara when you mean business. HRH. I better stop before it's a car parked outside my house. But HRH, you got that? You dig what I'm saying? It's HRH. Okay, so now that you all can see exactly how ignorant I am, take a look at this photo. Sarah, that old Sarah Tosuck Ferguson, she wants to stay a duchess so bad. Look at how low she has decided to curtsy for the queen. I remember the day this happened. She looked like she was about to tackle Her Majesty the Queen, kind of like that Betty White Snicker commercial. Remember Betty White got tackled? Doesn't it look like Sarah is about to tackle the queen? I mean, she got into a fighter stance. I mean, a football stance to curtsy to the queen. We get it. You want to keep the title, okay? You're still the Duchess of York. You're hiding your toes. We appreciate that. We haven't seen your toes in about, I don't know, 20 years. You're doing everything you're supposed to, girl. So get up. Get up. Have some dignity about yourself. Now, this is when you know a person is in it to win it because she's nearly on the lawn trying to express her respect to the Queen. And I'm sure the Queen just looked at her and probably belched in her face or something. I'm sure she didn't give a rat's behind what the Duchess of York was doing. The Queen was probably just glad she wasn't showing her toes. And of course, if you look at if you look at Andrew, I don't care how Andrew, whatever the situation, Andrew has only two things going on in his mind. Two things on his mind. That is, I shouldn't have given that interview to the BBC, and I wonder if my mama got a couple of bucks because I need some money. Like right here, look at him. There's nothing in his eye, and you can see on the Queen's face, the Queen has just about had it. He's rubbing his eye so he can get some sympathy from his mama because he needs some more money. You see what's going on? That's what's going on. And then this one. Take a look at this one. What do you think is going on there? I'm telling you, I can't prove this, but if the Queen is missing a couple of granny notes out of her purse, you know what happened to him. Because this looking up like there's something up. Ain't nothing up there. He probably got his hand down in her little patent leather bag right now, allegedly. Uh, See, I'm from the hood. I know the old sucker move when I see it. This is an old bait and switch right here. Look up like there's something in the sky. You don't see her looking up, right? So it's not the RAF. This is somebody who needs just a little spending money before somebody breaks his knees later tonight. So it's time for him to retire. It's time for him to retire because he is making such a buffoon out of himself. And you know what? I don't wish anything bad on Her Majesty. I don't hate anybody, but I'm glad this is happening because at least now they can't say that the Sussexes are the ones driving her to the London Bridge, if you know what I mean. Now they can't say it's the Sussexes. It's the one who may have his hand down in her handbag. That's the one. But I'm telling you, look, it's a very awkward pose. Oh, Lord, forgive me for this. But it's a very awkward pose, you must admit. There's something going on. And so after he finally got what he wanted, he was like, okay, come on, let's go. We can go. And look at Sarah in the back. Did you get what you needed? Uh-huh. And now they're out of there. So I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I'm just saying that's what looks like is happening. So anyway, I'm just saying this for fun. I don't know what they're doing, but the two of them are a piece of work, aren't they? The sooner the public has done away with them and sent them to live in obscurity, the better off everybody will be. Because there's no way that any of this will deflect away from the Sussexes. The Sussexes are used to deflect away from what's going on here. And this right here, I tell you, this is like the monumental. No matter what happens, he will always be remembered for this moment. Well, you see, I have a particular medical condition where yeah, I mean, he was just hemming and hawing, wasn't he? I have a particular medical condition where I don't sweat. What do you bet that beneath that blubber hanging under his chin, I bet you his collar is wet. I have a particular condition. I don't sweat. Come again? I mean, come on, man. I don't sweat. Anyway, let me get to your comments because I'm just going on and on. But I could talk about this guy for the longest. But I tell you, whenever the House of Windsor comes tumbling down, it won't be the Sussexes. It will not be the Sussexes. So just remember, Sussex Squad with receipts. The British tabloid press They're the ones who start all of the stories about the royals. We don't make up anything. We only amplify it anytime they decide to mess with our faves. We have to be the ones to say, not so fast, not so fast. Don't forget about this. And whatever you do, don't forget the calls are coming from inside the house. The calls are coming from inside the house. Don't forget that. It's not outside the house, it's inside the house. And the same people who try to defend them, they only try to defend them because those are the same people that trashed them in the first place. This is the one. We wouldn't even, the reason why, can I talk about this? Because this is so funny to me. And I know I keep saying it over and over again, but it's never not funny. The only reason why the year ended so badly for Woo! Okay. The only reason why the year ended so badly for old Sourpuss is because of this guy. Because of him. When he wrote this, then all of a sudden, the people with the receipts, the squad, just had to remind people about the Rose Garden. So this guy obviously is trying to win some type of favor from the royal households by printing this story to make himself look big and important. But the only thing he did was drag this one right into the thorns of the rose bushes. It didn't do anything but drag him down, so much so that the mainstream media talked about it. I don't think it had ever gone that far before, that the American mainstream media actually talked about it. So um, I bet he was mad. Oh, I bet he was incandescent with rage when that happened. But yeah, so that's why I said we're not the ones that make this stuff up. The calls are coming from inside the house. Okay, let me go to your comments. Ooh, I'm tired of talking. That was a lot to unload, but I'm sorry. I was just a little frustrated and a little humorous with some of the details because it is incredible the way that they are so busy trying to go after Harry and Meghan. They're so busy trying to figure out how to mess with the Sussexes that they have actually dragged him through the mud. And then for some reason, um, this one right here decided to put these very goth Victorian photos up for her birthday. I mean, it's like they can't put a foot right. As much as they try to spin it to make it seem like everything is going their way, nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing. And that poor guy in the background, he's thinking to himself, what in the world have I married into? Okay. Okay, finally, your comments. This is too much fun. Every time I think about William, I get tickled. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? Uh, and why would Harry take Raglan? I don't get that one. Oh, someone's trying to say there would be a name change in the future. I don't see that happening. Neil, if America wouldn't accept Hillary with years of experience, uh, why would Meghan sacrifice her freedom and love for humanity to be president? Yeah, I don't suspect that Meghan would ever run for president. Meghan wants to be behind the scenes and be in the rooms where decisions are being made and stuff like that. But I think I don't think that would suit her to be some type of executive in a governmental job like that. I don't think that would suit her. That would be a demonstration of vanity, and I don't think that the Duchess of Sussex is a vain individual. I think she likes to work as a team. I think she likes to cooperate and work behind the scenes, but I don't see her in a position like that. It would be fun. Definitely it would be fun, but for her sake, I wouldn't want that. Okay. Uh okay. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Probably something I missed, I'm sure. Oh, you want to get rid of him. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, let me get rid of him. There we go. Oh, speaking of get rid of, hold on one second. As per usual, my sinuses. Excuse me. So, um, there was something else I wanted to share with you. Let me go to my photos. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about that, especially Sarah Tosuck Ferguson. One of these days, though, that is going to come out the wrong way, and I am going to be in so much trouble. One of these days, Sarah Tosuck Ferguson is going to come out wrong. Either that or Zara Tongue Ring Tyndall. One of these days, those are going to come out the wrong way. And when it does, I'm going to have to start a new channel, I think. Oh, man. Okay. So, okay, let me see. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about, and then I'll go back to your comments. Sorry, I'm not getting to your comments fast enough, but I had a lot on my mind. I hope you guys don't mind if I share. Uh, okay, there was this. There was this. Let me get rid of this because somebody's going to have to help that old lady up in a minute. And this, here it is. Megan Fox's 2 engagement rings are worth more than Meghan Markle's. This is from Hello Magazine. Okay. But what I love about this, I covered this person's name and their profile picture. But let it suffice to say, she looks like someone who would be against the Duchess of Sussex, if you know what I mean. She looks like one of those people that would, drink that hate Kool-Aid, but she's not. She's actually making a lot of sense here. Filling their daily quota must reference Meghan at least 100 times a day, and they don't care if the topic has zero to do with her. Right? Now, that is just one of several responses to the Hello Magazine article. Full disclosure, I didn't actually read the article. This is just something I snatched off of Twitter. So please don't go to the article because we don't want to help them out. And speaking of help them out, Bernadine Robinson, thank you so much for that. Thank you for my super sticker. And thank you for joining the Royal Sussex Friday Night Live. Okay, Miss S, long time no talk. It's not about the cost of the ring, it is the love that went into choosing it. Harry was not trying to outdo anyone. Yes, absolutely, Miss S. And if you all remember when we had the discussion about the Duchess of Sussex choosing a tiara, I clearly said I couldn't imagine the Duchess of Sussex pointing to that very garish looking um, emerald job and saying, "Oh, I'll have that." It just doesn't look like her. The Duchess of Sussex has a very minimal, clean line taste in so many things. I could not imagine the Duchess of Sussex wearing some horrendous emerald tiara. It would be too pretentious. Art Deco, streamlined. I think the tiara was made by Cartier. I think that was absolutely perfect. if anybody had like put a line of tiaras on the shelf and said, point to the one that is most ideally suited to the Duchess of Sussex, I would have probably pointed to that one because the Sussexes are not flashy people. All of the jewelry that Meghan wears, she wears the jewelry because of the symbolism, not because of the price. That's something that they get wrong again and again and again. And deliberately so. Of course, they're doing it deliberately to try to disparage the Duchess of Sussex. But as the Sussex squad, we see right through it. We see right through it. She doesn't need all that. It's just like the when Jacqueline Kennedy visited Buckingham Palace. She, she was upper class, and maybe if she was born 20 years before that, she may have worn a little tiara herself, but she didn't. She was regal and outshined the queen a thousand ways just by wearing her hair in an updo. She did not need to wear a tiara or a crown, whereas the queen, looked very conspicuously royal with all the stuff she had on. Fortunately, all of that conspicuous consumption and flashy jewelry, hopefully, with the Cambridges or with Prince Charles and his emotional support, Camilla, I hope all of that blood diamond stuff goes away. I hope all of that goes away because it's just not really consistent with the world that we live in right now. Uh, can I get an amen on that? Okay, let's see here. It's not. Oh, okay. I think we've already done that one. The photo of the Queen and Jackie Kennedy, please. Yeah, let's see if I can find that. I'll look for that right now. And Harry took diamonds that belonged to Diana. Again, symbolism, absolutely. There was plenty symbolism there. It wasn't about trying to outdo anybody. It was all very much a representation of the love and passion that they have for each other. Nothing else. That's why if the story is accurate that Harry told his brother, "Oh, you can have mommy's ring and you should give that to Kate." I could believe Harry would do something like that. I don't think anybody would have to coerce him into that because it just doesn't seem very much like something that Harry would want to bring to his family. And what is this I see here? Ty Fletcher, thank you so much for that. Please register for Better Up Inner Works Day on February 3rd. Yes, I saw that earlier. And I was hoping to find more information for that. But that is coming up. There's a Better Up event on February 3rd. So let's see here. Okay, the Queen and Jacqueline Kennedy. I'm going to try to select the best photo to share. Um, uh, okay, I think this one says a lot. Ooh, that's a big file. And then, okay, the Better Up. Let's see if I can find that so I can share that link. Better Up, February 3rd. Okay. Oh, you know what? If someone else could share the link, that would be easier. If someone else wants to share that link, please do so. Um, that'd be easier than me trying to do it right now. If you don't mind. But yeah, as I was saying, hopefully all of that flashiness will be a thing of the past because I think the world has moved on. I'm really disappointed with the Cambridges because they said that they were going to limit the amount of exposure of their children but because they feel this need to try to compete with the Sussexes, well, the Cambridge children have been all over the place, and that's unfortunate for the kids. And I believe Ivy has covered that topic on the Sussex Global UK about the welfare of the royal children. So if you get a chance to listen to Ivy, I do believe she covered that herself. So um, that's some good listening if you can find it. But yeah, the welfare of the royal children, very much crucial. Let's see. Black Cougar, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much for that. I am humbled tonight. Thank you. And when you look back at him when he was a teenager in his early 20s, he was cute. Now the ugly from within is coming out. Are we speaking of William the Magnificent? Um, because the tabloids did a story about that. The tabloids had a story about William the Magnificent and how he was once so appealing and suddenly turned into, you know, uh, incandescent with rage. That I've seen. I actually have that. I saved that story, but I think I'd have to do too much digging to get it out right now. If you can dig that, so as much as I would love to share it, now is probably not the best time. But yeah, the Sussexes use a lot of symbolism, and in particular, the Duchess of Sussex. I have to say, hats off to her because she really gave a lesson on being a royal princess, even though she'll never get the credit for it from the institution. I think she didn't put a foot wrong, not one single time. But it's just they couldn't possibly give her any credit for the fact that she did such a great job. And that's what Harry said, is that she actually did an amazing job, and they couldn't take it. They just could not accept the fact that she was able to um, find her way into that family and make them look good. And it's a shame that she made them look good. And instead of praising her, she was punished, as they did with Princess Diana, as exactly as they were able to do with Princess Diana. She was punished for making them look good. Okay. Let's see. More comments. The more we learn about the Cambridges, the more I despise them. Absolutely. They're so desperate. Are the UK tabloids going to talk about Harry and Meghan for the rest of their lives? Lelaine Mahakey, I would say yes. I would say yes. Absolutely. They're not going to let up because they're money makers. And that's why I said that I would prefer, and this is what Meghan understood, that if the kids have the titles, they would have some protection more than not having protection, because the titles would mean that they would have, the whole thing with the royal protection officers and such. And I'm sure that that was a thing when they were living in Narnia. Away from Narnia, they probably wouldn't expect that. But while they were there, when your child is being racially abused in the social media, when you are being racially abused in the social media, then of course you want your child to have those titles. It just makes sense. My best friend, a non-squatty, wonders why we're surprised and reminded that the royals in history, I can't say that word, their own relatives and friends. Absolutely, Joan. And I guess for as much as I've read and as many documentaries as I've seen, I guess I'm not surprised at all. Because you know what? Those aristocrats, when they walk through those hallowed halls of their estates and they read about the accounts of their relatives and ancestors when they read those letters, they feel a sense of entitlement and they feel they have a divine right to do as they please because they've gotten away with it so far. So who would stop them? Had enough what with Philip and his philandering, Andrew and his foolishness. She is 95 and looks utterly done in. We haven't seen her standing since October. Do you guys realize that? We have not seen the Queen standing since October. There's no images of the Queen. Okay, there was that one person that someone who left royal service. There's that one still photo. But aside from that, we haven't seen her standing at all. The last time we seen the Queen out, Princess Anne handed her a stick to help her walk. So the Queen is looking very frail. She's obviously lost weight. So, um, you know, and they said that she's resting up for the Jubilee. I understand when Prince Philip was 95, they removed him from public view because they didn't want the public to see Prince Philip going through a decline. So they said when he was 95 that he is going to retire from public duty. So I think it just makes sense that the Queen would also retire from public duty, but why don't they make it official? And the reason why I think they won't make it official is because they can weaponize her age against anybody and everybody. That includes the Sussexes, but um, that excludes her son. The one who I'm not saying that he had his hand in her purse, but I can't prove that he didn't. um, I can't say that he didn't have his hand in her bag, and I can't say that he did. I'm just saying it looks like he did. And it, let me stop. Okay, let me get rid of this picture. Before I get started, let me just stop. But I'm just saying it looks like he did. I'm not saying that that was the case, but I'm just saying he's looking up in the sky. We can't see his hand behind the balcony. Something is going on. That's all I'm saying. And maybe this curtsy was just the distraction needed so that, they could order out to their favorite restaurant, get some takeaway for the night. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I wasn't I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. I'm just saying it looks strange. That's all I'm saying. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't know him. But what I do know is that he has a particular medical condition, and he can't sweat. So that's all I know about him is that he has a particular medical condition that would make it impossible for him to have danced in the nightclub with, the person and or even sweat, even though there's many photos of him soaking with water from head to toe. That's all I'm saying. We don't know. We don't know. So, thank you, Marie Johnson. It's all I could do to keep from screaming. You know that, right? Um, I think that it's healthy for us when we see that our faves have been under constant attack and scrutiny from the tabloid press, especially where it concerns Lord Nappyhead. When we see that our faves have been under constant scrutiny and attack from Lord Nappyhead and his ilk, then we have to be able to have a good laugh because otherwise it would just be way too much. So I know it helps me a lot. Um, and it's just fun. Um, So, we've been on for an hour. Is there any more comments that you all would like to share? And I'm sorry I couldn't bring up that photo of the Queen and Jackie. Oh, the file is way too large, and my PC cannot handle it. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to bring it up. I'm going to try one more time and see if I can, because I love this photo. It's absolutely gorgeous, but I don't suspect it's going to work. Let's see what happens. But if you've seen that part of the crown, then you probably have seen the photo already. But yeah, it's not working. Okay, so back to your comments. And I'm going to take a quick scan through just to make sure there wasn't anything else that I wanted to mention that I haven't got around to. 1 second. I think I was pretty satisfied with that. That was what I had for today. And thank you for reminding us about February 3rd. Again, if you guys can put that in the comments, I'll try to remember to put it on the community tab. Anything that I post, I usually put it on the community tab. So I'm going to try to catch up on the comments tonight because I have missed about a week of comments. So please leave that in the comments and I will put that on the community tab. So just add it there with the link, someone, and I will add it to the community tab so we can share it with everyone. Okay, so back to your comments. Oh, you guys help me out so much, and believe me, it is appreciated. Because I am a bit of a baby boomer, there's a lot of things that just go in one ear and right out the other. Anytime I go to the doctor and I get a checkup, and the doctor puts that flashlight in my ear, I always say, "Can you see the light on the other side? Can you see the wall?" Sometimes when I go to a doctor's appointment, either they're glad to see me because they're having fun, or they can't wait to get me out of there because I won't stop a talking. Okay. But yeah, this is my usual self. This is not something that I just do for the what do you call it? For the Royal Sussex. I'm pretty much consistently me most places, most times, which can be jarring to people who don't know me. Even disappointing sometimes. Off duty at the moment. I'm ready to go home finally, but that cold from I heard it's below zero, Lori. I heard it's below zero in New York. And also, is there anything off topic from the Royals that you all wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about something and I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was the weather. Uh Let me see. The real queens. Yes, Latoya, thank you for that. Salute to the real queens. What am I doing? Okay, did somebody roofie me or what? Okay, here we go. The queen of our hearts, Princess Diana. Thank you, Latoya, for reminding us. Princess Diana, the queen of our hearts. And of course, our other queen, the queen of everything, Doria. Doria's love and devotion for, of course, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is one of the reasons why that union is so strong. I love to see the way Harry beams with pride. Remember this outing? It's bittersweet. Sometimes I feel awful when I look at this photo because I realize the price that they had to pay for this moment, among others. But you know what? We're not going to 50% ourselves for anyone. The Duchess of Sussex gave a beautiful address to the crowd without notes. That was another thing that got on people's nerves, is the fact that she was able to address a room full of people without using any notes whatsoever. As opposed to, let's say, I know I shouldn't do the comparison, but I'm kind of petty, as opposed to someone else who can stand there and mutter out something barely intelligible that no one really understands, and that people are probably more confused after she leaves the room than they were before she showed up. I'm just saying, we all know that that's what happened, but we're all God's children, and there's room for people like this in this world. Yes, there's room for jazz hands, and there's room for the air hostess. There's even room for, okay, there's no room for him, but there's room for the air hostess. Uh, there's room for everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, okay. Oh, yes, Bob Saget. Thank you, Church Nelly. They've already laid Bob Saget to rest, but that just goes to show you that we have to appreciate every moment with the people that we love, because, things like that happen. And true enough, Bob Saget had one of the best shows of his life. And that happened to be one of the last nights of his life. So, the last night of his life. So, yeah. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to let me see. Gavin, okay. Anything? It doesn't have to be Sussex. It doesn't have to be Jazz Hands, although that's one of my favorites. Oh, B10 Power, you say we don't want Baldy and Jazz here in the US. Yes, if there was any way we could stop that. If there was any way. Like maybe on condition that they bring Uncle Andy with them. Maybe that would keep them out. Ronnie Spector. Yes, Ronnie Spector. Guys, one second, my sinuses again. Here's the thing. While we have these talented people in our lives, that's that's something that we should all appreciate. Oh, thank you, Yvonne Clark. But that's something that we should all appreciate. But this is a fact. There are more people that are famous alive today than there has ever been in the history of the world. Because with social media and all the other media that has come before social media, we just know more people. And some of the people we've known over the years are old. They're in their 90s, they're in their 80s and their 90s. And so I don't like to get into that whole thing about the threes, because I think that is just, I don't like superstition. I like stuff that is, mainstream, religious, or things that I can see, not things that are designed to frighten us, right? So there's a lot of people that are older right now, and we're going to lose people, and it's people that we love and enjoy. Now, of course, Bob Saget was kind of young, but you know, given medical science, he lived a lot longer than Bob Saget would have lived 200 years ago. So, God bless him for the joy that he has brought to so many people's lives. But yeah, this is going to be an ongoing thing. And I'm surprised that we didn't lose more people with the pandemic that were older. But, you know, it's just a fact of life. So try not to get too bogged down with these things about this person or that person, because they've lived their life. They brought whatever joy or motivation or whatever they brought to our lives, and it was just their time. So yeah, but there's a lot of famous people in this world, a lot, and they are getting older. MLK Day is on the 17th, which is Monday. Well, we celebrate on Monday, but is that his actual birthday? I was watching the story of Emmett Till. My heart just broke. Oh, yeah, Mamie Till. Mamie Till. Oh, his mother was so strong and courageous. Mamie Till Mamie Till was able to do more for the civil rights movement than a lot of people who we have celebrated over the years. And it's not likely that there will ever be a national holiday for Mamie Till or Emmett Till for that matter. But that was a very courageous lady. Uh, oh, TCC Sun says MLK and Betty White on the same day. Yes. Yeah, his birthday and her birthday. Yeah. Hell, Josephine Young, welcome to the chat. Hello to the squaddies, I think that is. Squadron. Okay, if you will. We are in great shape. The island is sinking. Leave it to you, Josephine, to find the bright side of things. The island is sinking. Stay healthy, people. The squad is so important. Thank God for OG squaddies. You know who you are. You're appreciated. Okay, I keep seeing people say troll. Who's a troll? Because I'm like multitasking, so I don't know who the troll is. But if there's anything you need me to do about it, I will. Um, but yes, thank you, Josephine, for brightening up our day by pointing out that the island is sinking. But we don't want our squatties on the island to go down with the island. Just remember, we got get her off of here. I didn't even notice her there. I was reading the what do you call it? The comments. But yeah, I can get rid of her. I don't know. She's kind of tough though. She's a survivor. I don't know if we can permanently remove her from the photos, but she's a survivor. Yeah, I don't care what happens if there's ever like a an apocalypse. There will be two things standing: the air hostess and her trolley from the 747 she used to work on. Those would be the two things left standing in this world. Oh, I am just bad tonight. Cookies and cream. I haven't heard from you all night. Let me see. It wouldn't be smart to move for walnut and cardboard copycat kangaroo to just come to the US. Oh yeah, if they come here while the trial is going on, oh wow, that would I hope they do come here while the trial is going on. Please let them come here while the trial is still going on. Please. Also sinking. Galveston. Oh, you're speaking literally sinking. Yeah, Galveston, Texas, they have been hit with some huge waves. Didn't they have a big wave that just like wiped out a bunch of people years ago? Yeah, the some of the greatest cities in the world are threatened by the sea level rising. So, yeah, some of the greatest cities in the world are threatened by sea level rising. Right. So the royal rodents, the cockroaches, and of course, the air hostess. Those are the three main species that will survive when all else is gone. And even after the apocalypse, no matter how much Coca-Cola can she has on her cart, she's not going to let you have the entire can of Coca-Cola. You can only have half. But uh until Ike the 1900 storm was okay, so that's the one that wiped out a lot of people, right? The one in 1900? Oh, yes, the photo. Okay. I can bet you're starting to think I actually like her more than I pretend. Oh, I've been to Venice. Venice is so beautiful. I went to Venice back in 1999, and I went to Venice again back in 2019. And I have to tell you, it is a timeless place. Very little had changed. If you haven't been to Venice, it is absolutely beautiful. But try to go when there's not the flood season or something like that. Sometimes the flood seasons come when it's not supposed to. But oh, what's this? I just saw a name that looks familiar to me. Uh, well, but yeah, this information has been out for a long time. Is this something new? Because I haven't seen that. But not that I would be surprised. Oh, oh, I'm talking about Europe, huh? I was wondering what was happening. I'm like, What happened?" "Oh, I'm talking about Europe." "Oh, you guys want me to talk about Europe? I'll talk about Europe." I saw that yellow. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, "What happened?" And then I just realized I was talking about Europe. Yes, I'm not embarrassed to say I have been to Venice. And I've been to Florence and Rome and Bolzano. Um, you all are too funny. That is so funny. I looked up and I saw a sea of yellow. That is so funny. Ah, okay, y'all got me that time. I have to admit, y'all got me that time. Oh, Yvonne Clark, what happened? Um, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm so sorry that happened. Yeah, it has affected so many people. And I have to tell you guys, I was one of those people that was super paranoid about being in public and going places. And if y'all remember when Nathan came here to help me with my account, well, like an angel, he actually took me out of my safety zone and took me out to concerts and restaurants, which I hadn't done for almost 18 months at that time. So I fortunately have, you know, protected myself as much as possible. I double mask a lot, and I was able to go out and do things, and that easily could have been me or the next person. So, yeah, definitely condolences. Absolutely. Let's see. Black Cougar, you said I love Rick Steves. I love Rick Steves. Rick Steves is like my mentor. Even I talked to him one time. I spoke to him on the phone doing a fundraiser on PBS. He was there with the fundraiser, and of course I was so nervous. I was like, "Hi, Rick Steve. Hi, Rick Steve. I watch how you." I could barely get the words out because I was so excited to talk to him, and it was so weird to hear him talking directly to me and not just through the television. But yeah, Rick Steves is my mentor. If you guys would like to hear about my 64-day trip to Europe, I would be glad to share it with you. I wouldn't even try to make a video because it would be too much information to try to cram into a video. But I can just tell you off the top of my head that with a rail pass, I managed to go to quite a few places in 64 days. Totally wiped out my savings, but it was like 10 years I saved for that trip. 10 years. And Rick Steves was a big motivating factor for me. So I'll tell you about it sometime. even if you do, uh, even if you do that, Church Nelly, I'll still tell you. And that goes for you and you and you. You guys know you love it. Church Nelly, your eyes are going to get stuck. Okay, what's this one? Yes, that is very true. That is very true. that oh, Sherry Ware. I mean, if you insist. I mean, I'm so shy and I don't like to talk about myself. But if you insist, but only if you insist, because otherwise, I'm so embarrassed. I don't like to talk about myself. I just, I'm a shy person, and if you force me, I will. But I mean, I don't like to talk about it so much. But okay, I'll do it. If you insist. Okay, so picture it. I was oh, sorry. Oh, you guys are so lucky, my sinuses again. Well, okay, so I kind of mentioned it for the anniversary video when I went to the UK during the Meghan and Harry's wedding, Harry and Meghan's wedding. So eh, there was a sale on airline tickets in 2017. So Thanksgiving, I purchased the ticket. Let me see, there's 662 people. I want to see how many is left by the time I finish this story. Woo! Remember, you asked for it, Sherry. But I want to see how many's left. Okay, so it was Thanksgiving 2017. So I thought to myself, I am going to buy me a ticket. I haven't been on a vacation in 10 years, so I'm going back to Europe. So I purchased a round trip to London, and I also purchased a rail pass, actually 2 rail passes, one for the UK and one for the continent. And in 64 days, I started off in the UK, and then I did, like, excursions where I would go to other places. So I went to Downton Abbey, and then I went to Paris. And then from Paris, I took a high-speed train to Barcelona, and I stayed in Barcelona for a few days. Then from Barcelona, I went right past Zaragoza and went to Madrid. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. When in Madrid, I realized something. I said to myself, "Hey, why did you go past Zaragoza? You wanted to go there, dummy." So I had to get back on the train and go back to Zaragoza, where I stayed there for a couple of days. And then after Zaragoza, it was on to Lisbon. Lisbon, oh, so beautiful. And then from Lisbon, now mind you, 2, 3 days each place, I went to Porto. And of course, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So I kept wondering why they kept saying stuff about wine tasting. Well, I didn't know that Porto was the home of port wine. I figured that out like a month after I got home. Okay. So after Porto, I went back to Madrid and I connect to the high speed train. No, actually, I'm sorry. I went back to Madrid and then I went to Seville. And from Seville, I took a day trip to Toledo. I went to like the Valley of the Fallen and all that kind of stuff. So I did excursions where I would do like a day trip, and then some places I stayed for up to 3 nights. So then after that, it was off to Cologne. I had always wanted to go to Cologne, and I met someone from Cologne who told me, "You got to see Cologne." So I said, "Okay, I got to see Cologne." So I went to Cologne, and in Cologne, I discovered something: sausages. I ate so many sausages, I literally belched my way out of Cologne. When I was in Spain, I discovered that ham, that thinly sliced ham. I can't tell you how many of those ham sandwiches I ate in the 2 weeks I was there. So between Spain and Portugal, I spent like 3 weeks on the Iberian Peninsula, right? I spent maybe 2 days in Cologne. And then from Cologne, I had to go meet a friend in Munich. Now, all this is with the rail pass, right? If you ever buy a rail pass from Europe, buy it while you're in the United States. Don't buy it over there. You'll save so much money, right? And then from Cologne, it was off to Munich. I said that already. And then from Munich, um, Venice. I went to Venice. And then not Venice, I'm sorry. From Munich, I went to Florence. I wanted to walk in the footsteps of Alessandro de' Medici. Look at there. There's 628 people. I told you people were going to drop off. I don't care. Okay, so from Florence, I went to Rome. And then after a few days in Rome, I decided it was time to head back to the UK so I wouldn't miss the wedding. So I had to spend a day in Bolzano because I had to wait for the overnight train. So I walked around Bolzano a bit. Unfortunately, I had to go right through Milano, didn't get a chance to see it. And from there, I went to Paris. I had to spend another night in Paris and then off to the UK. And that's when I saw the Sussexes on their wedding day the very next day. So I still got a whole, like, maybe 3 weeks left with my rail pass. So I went to Brenham Palace Castle, no Palace. I stayed in York. I stayed in Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool. I took a day trip to Brighton. I took 2 day trips to Bath. I spent a couple days in Cardiff, Wales. If you haven't guessed by now, I was kind of following in the Sussexes' footsteps. That's why I went to Cardiff. And then when I went to Brighton, it was because I wanted to see where that what is it, the Emporium, that weird castle that they have there, and of course Brighton Beach. And then from Brighton, I'm got my eyes closed. Let's see how many people are left. Oh, we gained a few people. Okay, so I said York, and when I was in York, I took a day trip to Castle Howard, and then it was off to Scotland. And in Scotland, I went to Edinburgh, then I went to Glasgow, then I went back to Edinburgh. And then when I was in Edinburgh again, I said to myself, okay, you've seen the Britannia, you've seen Holyrood. How could you not go to Dumfries House? So I hopped back on the train and went back to Glasgow, stored my luggage, and then I hopped on another train and went to Cumnock, Scotland, and I had to take a taxi to the Dumfries House. And then from there, I went back toward London, I think. So I'm sure I left out a lot of bits of some of the stuff that I did because it was a long trip, but I squeezed a lot into 64 days. And mind you, when I did that, I was over 50 years old. And I promise you, I don't know how I found the energy to do it. And when I came back, I had very little money, but I had an experience that will last a lifetime. I literally took thousands of photos, which is how I keep track of everything that I was doing. And so there was like people asking me, "Are you ever coming back?" But let me tell you, like, the best part of coming home, right? So I stayed at this youth hostel called the Clink. The Clink was a jailhouse and a courthouse in one. And that was a fun name for it because they called it the Clink, as if you're going, to jail. And if you look it up, if you Google the Clink in London, you'll see it. It's an adorable hostel. A lot of these places, I guess you could say I was the oldest person there, but not always. But the Clink was where I stayed, my last place in London. And so I got up, I went to the airport, I went to Heathrow, and I couldn't remember where to get off the train. So I got off the train at the wrong stop. Got back on the train because someone said, no, if you're going to fly that airline, you got to go to that terminal. So British Airways terminal. So I get there And you know what I found out? They were about to bump me off the flight. They told me, they said, well, I got some bad news. You may have been bumped from this flight. And you know what I was thinking? I got 300 pounds left and I don't have to be home. I can just go back to the hostel and stay for another couple days. I was going to have them, you know, give me a ticket for another 2 days later and just enjoy myself. But at the last minute, he made a phone call and he said, well, I got some news for you. We're going to move you up to Club World. He said, do you know what that is? I said, no. He said, well, it's not first class, but it's business class. You have a lie down seat. Really? So I went to Club World. And it was really cool. As soon as you get on there, they offer you orange juice or champagne or whatever. It was like the first time in my life I got on a big plane and I didn't turn right. I had a chance to go left, right? So, um, that was really cool. But he said, since you're early, he said, when I give you your ticket, don't go this way, go that way. I said, what's over there? He said, the first class lounge. I mean, it just got better and better. So I went to the first class lounge and I kept saying to myself, look like you belong, try to look like you belong. And when I walked in there, it was like airport heaven. Everything that you could think of. I mean, they had bottles of champagne, they had all kind of hors d'oeuvres and cookies and sandwiches. Everything was included. That was the best first class ever. And of course, when I got home, I went into a deep depression because having enjoyed those 64 days, it was like, now what? Now what? So, 591 people. I told you I knew how to get rid of people. I told y'all. But I didn't act alone because don't forget, Sherry was the one who encouraged me. So, any questions? Anybody? Because I wasn't looking at the chats. Anybody? Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Lydia. For those who haven't fallen asleep, listening to my story. Okay. Let's see what else. Sherry, don't you listen to them. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. I am going to build a shrine to you later. Have I visited China? No, I haven't. I've been to Japan. Japan was the last place I visited before the pandemic. I was in Japan January of 2020. Yeah. Yeah, cookies and cream. Sometimes people ask me, they were like, well, why did you choose those places? Because I love architecture and it was just certain places that I just wanted to see. That's why I went to Dumfries House because it is like a time capsule. Yeah, it's like a time capsule that was closed 300 years ago, and you open it up and everything looks just the way it did 300 years ago, including the Duchess of Cornwall. Japan, okay. Japan, I was in the very touristy areas, right? I was treated very well. Um, I know that there's a bit of a reputation when it comes to people of color over there, but I think as long as you're in the big urban areas, that you probably won't have a problem. But I'm going to give you the best advice about Japan that anybody could give you. Don't ever take a taxi in Tokyo. If you have a smartphone, the same way you use your smartphone to navigate your way through Manhattan using buses and trains, you can do the same thing in Tokyo. It's so easy. Let me see. Uh, okay, Yvonne, you said Oh, you took Swiss Air. They have a great reputation. They have a great reputation. Um, oh, I love Rome. I did. Yeah, Beth, I have to tell you, my experience with the Vatican, though, I didn't want to see the Vatican Museum. I wanted to see the 16th Chapel, and that was it. And so there was the Vatican. If when you go to the Vatican, at least before the pandemic, there was so many people that I'm not a claustrophobic person, as evident by the fact that I stayed in a one of those pod hotels in Tokyo. I crawled my big baby boomer behind up inside of that little pod and went to sleep, no problem. But I got very claustrophobic at the Vatican because of the huge tour groups trying to get to the 16th chapel, because you have to go through miles of galleries before you get there. And it's just, you have to nudge and push past too many people. And some of the groups, they kind of fan out, and it's very difficult. Yeah, it's like sensory overload, Beth. It's like sensory overload. I couldn't take much more of it. I walked through there, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but I walked through there like a mental patient. I had this blank look on my face, and I was determined to get through those crowds, and I followed those signs to the 16th chapel like some kind of nut job. And when I got in there, like so many people, I felt myself ready to weep at how beautiful and historic it was. Really? Wow, that's some B10, I'm so jealous. That must have been incredible. That must have been absolutely incredible. I'm jealous. Um yeah, I prefer the travel on my own like that, because when you have an itinerary, you don't want to interrupt it with someone pouting about something, or I met some amazing people, and so much of what experienced was just, I'm going to tell you, I had a few days when I didn't know what to do that day, and I just prayed. I said, Lord, where would you have me go? And then I would just thumb through my phone, and next thing you know, I'm like, I'm going to Blenheim Palace today. And that's just how it happened. And some things, I had a big list. I had a long list of places to go. And I mostly checked every box on that list. But then there was a few places that were just spontaneous and last minute. Um, Really? You know what? I can understand that, because I followed the rules. Like when I went to St. George's Chapel, I didn't take any photos, but I believe that a lot of people either pretend like they don't know the rules or the language, or people just don't really care enough to follow the rules. But yeah. So let's see. Yvonne, you said 2 weeks in Rome in 1988, still friends with the people I met there. After all these years, still friends and their kids. Oh, that's incredible. I didn't spend enough time in Rome. I wish I could have had 2 weeks there, but I literally just did not spend enough time. I had to get back to the UK in time for the wedding. So I forfeited some of that time that I could have had, because I wanted to see the Sussexes. Ever since Princess Diana get married, that was my dream, was to attend a royal wedding, or at least be in a crowd, of course. Oh, Petra. Petra, that's where they carved into the rocks, right? Catherine Mark, you just joined us? Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for joining the chat. Geraldine, is there a possibility here in Meghan being able to sue for defamation of character? They really are. Uh, I hope so. I hope so. I hope that's possible. I really do hope that's possible. I'm not sure, but I think that depending on how, um, I guess the right word is egregious the behavior is from the tabloids, I believe that's how they decide. I'm sure they're choosing their battles carefully. I hope, but I hope Harry said that it's not necessarily the smartest thing to do to go after these people in the media, but he has decided that, well, they decided that they are just going to take their chances. And I think that's very brave. I mean, both of them know what the possible price is that they'll have to pay for going against the system, but they have agreed as a family that they are not going to sit back and just allow people to whack them across the head with a stick. So that's why I'm here. If they have decided to fight back, as I've said time and time again, I hate a bully. I seriously hate a bully. And I just it hurts me the way that the Sussexes were treated. So um as long as I can stay in the fight, I'm going to call them out and keep receipts and identify patterns of behavior that go against, morality, where the Sussex, because this is very immoral, the way that they are being pursued by the tabloid press. It's like a jilted lover the way they carry on with the Sussexes. Okay. Oh, Miss S, I could imagine. Did you cross that bridge that leads to that like avenue? Because this was my experience. I got off the tour bus. I was on a double decker. I got off the tour bus and I went across that bridge toward that mausoleum for the emperor or pope or whatever, that kind of red round brick building or whatever. And so there's so many spires and domes, you don't know which one is the Vatican. And then I looked left and that big open space, and I was like, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. And there it was, the Vatican. And so I was like, that's it. That's it. It was like I was on my way to the land of Oz. It was unbelievable. I said, "How did I get here?" And I looked, and when I saw it, I just started walking faster and faster. And then I noticed the people around me were also moving fast. Everybody was like so excited to be there. So that was my experience of seeing the Vatican. Let's see. Okay. Oh, B10, you're leaving? Thank you so much for joining us. I hope I didn't bore you, but I thought it'd just be nice to for us to have a chat. But yeah. But good night, B10, and thank you for all your support. Oh, somebody enjoyed it? Because even through cyberspace, I feel like somebody has flipped me the bird, but I don't know. Let me see. Okay. Anybody else? Any more thoughts or comments about anything? I hope the Sussexes go after Pigeon Moran. Uh, they need to hit him deep in his pockets. I hope so too, cookies and cream. Okay. Okay, I'm scrolling back in the other direction. Well, I'm a nurse. My shift is over. Thanks for keeping me going. Had a great evening. Marietta Witt, I'm so glad that I was able to do anything, but I appreciate that. And thank you for watching and liking and everything. That means a lot. Okay. Mashar, I don't think I've heard from you all night. Do I think they learned their lesson? No. Um, when you have Lord Nappyhead with all of his wealth and privilege and all of that hidden um, African DNA that he has suppressed all these years. But he's too privileged, and I just couldn't imagine that he's learned his lesson. He found a good barbershop that knows how to deal with African hair, but he hasn't learned his lesson. But yeah, I don't think he's learned his lesson. Went to visit the Pope in Rome, and Pope asked him for a donation. He declined and suggested if the Pope melt a lot of that gold from the Vatican and sold it, he could collect a lot of money. Eh, wow, I never heard that before. But why should we start with the Pope when we can start with the Windsors? I would much rather see the Windsors because at least the Pope doesn't own that stuff. But I would rather see the Windsors melt some stuff down and sell some things sooner than I would want to see the Pope do that. Um, they put the Pope away in a plain wooden box, but the Windsors, that's where the money is. That explains why this guy, his hand is hidden. But I suspect, well, anyway, I'm not going to say what I think he's doing there, but if if the Queen goes to the racetrack, if she goes to put some money on some horses, and she finds out that she's short of a few pounds, then I'm telling you, this explains a lot with this photo. I'm so bad. Okay. Coconut bread from home and a cup of tea as I enjoy the podcast. Well, thank you, Miss S. I'm glad that I hope this is like we're sitting right there at the table with you. Let's see. The Windsors need to return. Yes, sister, and that's what I'm saying. I would rather see that family get rid of some of their loot as opposed to. I'll say this: Windsor first, Vatican somewhere down the line. Yeah, let's start with Betty and work our way back. Let's see. I mean, because these diamonds have a dubious history. I don't even know what that word means. Okay, so we're going to have to let's just hang out for another 10 minutes and then we'll close this out. I'm kind of enjoying talking about anything and nothing at the same time. Um Right. Mummy, is that a RAF tornado? Where? Where? Oh boy, okay, that's okay, I gotta stop that. Okay, let's see. Good podcast. I'm going to have to leave you guys. Sonia Johnson, um, this is not a um I guess a stellar podcast, but I'm just hanging out. But thank you for the compliment. Yeah, you're too kind. But thank you, Sonia Johnson. Oh, let's see. And Sherry, thank you for the suggestion about my trip. Anytime, I'm here for it. If you want to hear anything else, I'll gladly share. But I have to tell you, when I was in Florence, I didn't realize that I was right across the street from okay, okay. I didn't realize that I was right across the street from where Alessandro de' Medici was buried at I think it was called the San Lorenzo cathedral or chapel or whatever. I didn't realize. I mean, literally, I was sleeping about 100 feet away from where Alessandro de' Medici was buried and had no clue until like a couple years later. So I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have been, I was on a budget. So when they asked me if I wanted to see the mausoleum at San Lorenzo, I said no. Yes, Diane, I still got a few more stories in me, but I said no, and I missed out on the mausoleum. Uh, yes, Sherry, you started something. It's all because of you. Okay. Oh, okay, Access Channel. That's Access Hollywood, right? Yeah, these I don't know, these like Hollywood gossip channels and shows. I don't know what kind of deal they have with the Cambridges, but yeah, they keep promoting jazz hands. The what did I call her? Let me see. The Phantom of Westminster Abbey. They keep promoting the Phantom of Westminster Abbey for some unknown reason. She's just not that interesting. And I don't understand why. I don't know. There must be excuse me. There must be an audience for jazz hands. Otherwise they wouldn't keep this going. But um, you know, somebody must have called in a favor or something, and now we're just stuck with this continuous coverage. But we know what Jazz Hands is thinking about. Okay, so let me get rid of her, and it is hour and 52 minutes, 53 minutes into the chat. I think I'm good. Any last thoughts, anyone? Elsie, register. Hi, everyone. Just got home from work. I'm just listening to you, Baron. Oh, Elsie, welcome home from work. I hope you had a great day. I hope you had a tremendous day. We're just hanging out. We're kind of freestyling it right now. So if you have any thoughts or questions, please share. Why do they have to try so hard to get people to like her? Because she's so unlikable. Because they're trying to save the House of Windsor by using her as some type of, I guess, a positive image or a future queen, a symbol of modernity. Yeah, has put in a request to the UK for the person that had seen him at the nightclub dancing with a young girl and also former equerry. Well, I hope that he gets the information that he needs, but they have been stonewalling, especially the Metropolitan Police. Oh, thank you, Barbara Miller. Thank you. You're so kind. I want to visit. Oh, yeah. So, Yvonne, you haven't been to the UK before? Are you trying to return to the UK? I did my DNA, and it turns out that I think 9% of my DNA is from the British Isles, if you will. 9%, little this and little that. There's also just a whisper of Mediterranean something, and yeah, there's like a certain mixture that is pretty typical for African Americans whose ancestors go back so many years in the US. Okay, let me see. Cookies and cream. Okay, I think I read that. Got that. Thank you again. Got that. What else was I looking for? Oh, this is what I was looking for. Are you going to talk about the detective? Um, are you speaking about the one who admitted um in the documentary, the one who apologized for making Harry's life miserable, detective? Or is this someone that I haven't mentioned already? I'm not sure which detective that is. Let's see. Katie's friend from. Okay, let's see. Say how Americans are fascinated. Yeah, a Little Rock. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I drank the Kool-Aid. And I have to tell you, if it wasn't for Princess Diana, I wouldn't know anything about that family. Princess Diana was the gift that just kept giving for that family. There are so many Americans who probably wouldn't even care for the system that they have if it wasn't for Princess Diana's fairy tale wedding. And then once Diana was gone, people's opinions here and in the UK began to shift about that family. And so, thanks to the Sussexes, there has been a great interest in that family. As they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So, there has been more interest in that family than otherwise would have been possible because we all know the Cambridges do not get much notice just for the if it wasn't for this I guess struggle against the Sussexes, the Cambridges wouldn't have anything because they're just not that interesting. So okay, the networks are pushing well, I can't say that one into the microphone, but yeah, well, that has been something that happened with our last president. And there seems to be a wave of that sentiment going on in the UK, in the United States, in other countries in Europe, even in South America, even in Brazil. There seems to be a wave of that type of mindset where the Western world is just getting too brown and they do not appreciate it. They are trying to suppress the melting pot, and I can only say that it's really strange that people would be so bothered by the idea that you have others, for lack of a better word, in the UK or in the United States when the UK, well, should I say the empire, is the reason why when I do my DNA, you can see that um, even though most of my DNA is from sub-Saharan Africa, there's bits and pieces of it that are European. How did that happen? That'd be an interesting conversation. So, yeah, as they say, the chickens are coming home to roost. But that bothers some people. I think that's what the big problem is with what you're saying there. Is this is just such a small part of a much bigger problem for people who um, don't like the Duchess of Sussex, did not like Barack Obama, don't care for Michelle Obama or Kamala Harris. That's why, because if we see them as normal, hardworking people or even high achievers, then it upsets the narrative that they have worked so hard to push about people of color. So that's why the Duchess of Sussex just could not be in that family. Yeah, Pauline, that is very true. That is very true. That is true. They have decided that the emotional support Camilla is damaged goods and not the future of the family. So they have to go to the next best thing. And I have to say, I feel sorry for them that this is the best they can do. This is what they're offering up as the future of the monarchy. The Stepford wife is the future. Now, that is the height of contradiction. that a Stepford wife is the future of anything, but that is where they are wagering their resources, is on that Stepford wife. So, God, I'm starting to make sense all of a sudden. What's in this coffee? Believe it or not, I am sipping coffee at this hour. But yes, I am sipping coffee at this hour. But um, okay, so you guys, it's been 2 hours. Who wants the last word? Ty Fletcher says they will try, Vinny Blair, but logical people are fully aware of what they are doing. They keep talking about her without substance. They better stop before people start researching her lazy past. Yeah, and you know what? Some of the same people that are going after the Sussexes are the same people who wrote about how lazy and inept and tired that she was all these years. Those same people that are so critical of the Sussexes are the same ones that referred to her as being lazy. So that's really interesting that if you pull, and that's why the Sussex squad have so many receipts. I have the occasional story of Kate being referred to as lazy. The queen is concerned that she hasn't worked a real job. So, yeah, I kept some of those receipts because you never know when you'll need them. Okay. Good night, Fancy. Okay, anybody else? Raven 299. I didn't know you were in here. Okay, so I think we're done. So the last word, I like to have the last word. Who wants to have the last word tonight? Something thought-provoking. Please don't make it a compliment about me. I think you guys had enough of me with my travel stories. So, did you not just get the memo? I can't accept this. Thank you so much, but I want it to be about something else, the Sussexes. But no, you're very kind to say that. But I think there's a book inside of all of us. So Denise Jones, I think that's it. That's absolutely brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Denise Jones says, "Good night, everyone." That's it. Thank you so much. So Denise Jones has the last word. And just to back that up, we're going to finish with no bad energy. And yes, and this, all the best for the Sussex squad. I mean, for the Sussexes and the Sussex squad. Okay, thank you, Black Cougar, Lydia, Sherry, Denise, Diane, Ty, John Boy, Vinny Blair, Anastasia Isabella, Audrey Teschner. Good night, everyone. Love you all, and I will see y'all. I got to edit something tomorrow. I promise. That's what I want to do because I miss doing that. But good night, y'all.